I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ahava Kakodash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, meaning coming in a name, Ba means coming in, Ha means the, Sham means name, Rakah means spirit, Kodash means holy. Double honors to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the elders and the apostles and bishops at Great Millstone who will well and teach well, because those are the men who I've learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you sincere brothers that are scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity, and shalom to you sincere sisters that listen in silence as the scriptures command you to do so. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah, and in this lesson we're going to be going into Genesis 49. It's good to go over these same breakdowns to keep in line these precepts, these breakdowns. So we're going to go into Genesis 49. Genesis 49 breakdown. And Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. And pretty much Genesis 49 is pretty much going into the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob. Okay, and who are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel today? Okay, and we're going to prove in the scriptures who they are. And that's what Genesis 49 is going into. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. This is Genesis 49 and verse 1. And it says, And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you which shall befall you in the last days. Now, when you go into the meaning of that word befall, it goes into the Hebrew word bakwaya'ah, which means encounter. Now, when you go into the meaning of that word last in the Hebrew, it goes into achrayath, or achrayath, okay, which means future event, future prophecy, okay? And we've been in the last days. We've been in the last days since the Messiah first stepped foot on the scene. And I want to prove that. Let's get that in Hebrews. Get that really quick. Hebrews, I think it's 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to get it right here. This is Hebrews chapter 1. Hebrews 1 and 2. Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 2. It says, Have in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, Yahweh Shai, whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. And there you go. We've been in the last days since the Messiah first stepped foot on the scene. That was the beginning of the last days. Okay. Now let's go back to Genesis 49. This is Genesis chapter 49. And verse 2. It says, Gather yourselves together, and hear ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Verse 3. It says, Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians today. That's the tribe of Reuben, according to the Bible. Okay, the tribe of Reuben, alright, is the so-called Seminole Indians today. Right? And it says, Thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Right? Because Reuben was the only Native American Indian tribe that wasn't taken down by the U.S. troops. Okay, we can prove this when you go into the Seminole Wars. You had the first Seminole Wars, which was from 1817 to 1818. And you had the second Seminole Wars, which was from 1835 to 1842. And then you had the third Seminole Wars, which was from 1855 to 1858. Okay, so the American troops, the U.S. troops, tried to take down the Seminole Indians, and they couldn't, because the Seminole Indians, for one, they were in a very swampy area. It's hard to navigate and know what area or location where to go to know where they are. Okay, it was in a swampy area. Now, the Seminole Indians, they knew the area very well because they were in the swampy areas. Okay, and that where that war took place was in northern Florida. Okay, so you had the first Seminole Wars with General Andrew Jackson. He tried to go down there and take them down, and they couldn't. Then the second time they tried to go down there and take them down, and they tried to overcome them, and they got ambushed. Okay? And the third time they went down there, and they couldn't. They tried and said, forget it, we just going to leave them alone. Reuben, which is the Seminole Indians, was the only Native American tribe that wasn't taken down by the U.S. troops. Okay? And that's who the Seminole Indians are today. Okay? I mean, the tribe of Reuben are today. The tribe of Reuben is the Seminole Indians. It's the so-called Seminole Indians. Okay? The Seminole Indians are the tribe of Reuben. Okay? It says, read again. That's why it says In verse 3, it says, Reuben, which is the Seminole Indians today, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, right? And the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power, because nobody was messing with them. Okay, verse 4, it says, unstable as water, thou shalt not exhale, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, right? It says, then defilest thou it, he went up to my couch, right? He slept with his father's concubine. Reuben did. And we can get that in Genesis 35 and verse 22. This is Genesis 35 and verse 22. So Reuben, right, he slept with his father's concubine. He broke the commandment. All right, this is Genesis 35 and 22. It says, and it came to pass when Israel dwelled in the land, right, dwelled in that land, that Reuben went and lied with Bilhah, his father's concubine. You see that? And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. So Reuben, that's what that's talking about there. When it says, thou wentest up to thy father's bed, right? Then defilest thou it. He defiled it by sleeping with his father's concubine. He slept with Bilhah. All right? He broke the commandment. All right? So reading it again, verse 4, it says, unstable as water, thou shalt not exhale, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. So he slept with his father's concubine. Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians today. That's the tribe of Reuben. All right. Verse 5, it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Right. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Okay. They live on the same island, which is called Hispaniola. Okay. You have Haiti and you have the Dominican Republic. Okay. The tribe of Simeon is the Dominicans today, and the tribe of Levi is the so-called Haitians today. Okay. And they live on the same island of Hispaniola. So you have Haiti and then you have the Dominican Republic, which they're on the same island. Okay. It says Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their inhabitants, right? And that cruelty there is pretty much they go down to Suriname. You know, the Haitians, they go down to Suriname and they cut the heads off of the people of Suriname and sell the skulls to the voodoo priests. Okay, that's that cruelty. All right. Verse 6, and it says, my son, it says, oh my soul, come not thou into their secret. And the secret is the voodoo. Okay, the Haitians, they do a lot of voodoo. Okay, they do a lot of voodoo. Okay, and it says, into their assembly, mine honor, it says, be not thou united. Because Simeon, who are the so-called Dominicans today, and the Haitians, right, which is the tribe of Levi, right, the tribe of Levi, who is the so-called Haitians, and Simeon, who is the so-called Dominicans, they're not united. They don't like each other. Okay, the Dominicans, they don't like the Haitians. The Haitians is darker than them. They look down on them. Okay, so the Haitians and the Dominicans, they don't get along. They're not united. Alright. And it says, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. And that's going into when they had a sister named Dana, and she was raped by that Hamite who was Shechem. Okay, which is in Genesis 34, which we're going to get out right now. So they had a sister named Dana, and she was raped by that Hamite, right? And that anger is, you had Simeon and Levi, okay, they took it upon themselves to go into the city and kill all the males in the city. And they took captive their wealth. They took, after they killed all the males in the city, they took their wealths, they took their cattle, their oxes, their sheep, they took their women and their little ones captive. They took those women and made them captive. Yes, they did that. When you go into Genesis, the 34th chapter, it goes into Dana and how she was raped by that Hamite who was Shechem. Okay, we can read that right here. So just read it right here. This is Genesis 34 and 1. It says, Dana, the daughter of Leah, she was bare unto Jacob. It says, went out to see the daughters of the land. Verse 2, it says, and when Shechem, the son of Hamor, see, Hamor is the father of Shechem. Shechem is the son of Hamor. Shechem and Hamor and Shechem, they're Hamites. Okay, they're the tribe of the Hivites. All right, the Hivites, they're Hamites. All right. It says, verse 2, it says, and when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he saw Dana, right? He took her and lied with her and defiled her. That defiling was raping. He raped her. Okay, he saw Dana and he raped her. Dana was the daughter of Jacob. Okay, It says, verse 3, and it says, and his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he, this is Genesis 34 and 3. Genesis 34 and 3. It says, and his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. Verse 4, it says, Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he defiled Dinah his daughter. He raped his daughter. All right, Jacob found out about it. Okay, and he was really upset, but his daughter was raped by Shechem, who was a Hamite. She was raped. Right, that's that defiling there. It says he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. Verse 4, it says, and Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. Right. Verse 5, and Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Right? It says, Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him, meaning speak. Right? Verse 7, it says, and the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. The brothers of Dinah, the brothers, which is Jacob's son, they were all mad. But there was two of them that was angry the most out of all the brothers. That was Shimeon and Levi. They were the ones that was upset the most. So when it comes to those Dominicans and those Haitians, those are the two that you don't want to make mad. They got the spirit of anger. They will jack you up. Those two right there, the Dominicans and the so-called Dominicans and the so-called Haitians, you don't want to make them mad. They the ones that you do not want to piss off. And we're going to show you why. Right? Because it's going into Shimeon and Levi, right? Let's keep going. Verse 7, it says, and the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, meaning angry, because he had wrongfully in Israel, in line with Jacob's daughter. The brothers was upset because Shechem, who was a Hamite, raped their sister. Them dudes was mad. Them guys was mad, man. Jacob's daughter. It says, which thing ought not to be done. You see that? And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her to him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. So this is what Hamor wanted. He wanted to be done. He wanted the Israelites, the sons of Israel, to take the daughters of the Hivites, of the Hamites, and the sons of the sons of Jacob, their lineage, their daughters, give their daughters to them, and they give their daughters onto the sons of Israel. That's what they wanted. But the Lord had it set up that didn't play out. Because watch what happens. The Lord's going to put the spirit on them dudes to go and kill all the males in the city. Right? This is continuing. This is verse 10, right? Let me see, verse 4. Verse 10. This is Genesis 34 and 10. Salakia. It says, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. It says, dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possession therein. Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father, this is Shechem speaking unto Jacob, and unto her brethren, unto her brothers, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Verse 12. And ask me never so much dowry and gift, I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. Verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah his sister, right? He raped Dinah, right? Shechem did. Verse 14. And they said unto him, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Right. So what's going to happen, and I'll just get to it. Verse 14. It says, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that we are reproach unto us. Verse 15. In this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughters, and we will be gone. Verse 18, and their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamar's son. So Hamor and Shechem heard of what the reply was, the order for them to do, to do this whole negotiation thing. So pretty much, Jacob was telling them that they are to get circumcised. So they get circumcised. But on the third day, after them being sore of that circumcision, Shimeon and Levi are going to go up, take it upon themselves to grab every man his sword, and they're going to go in the city, and they're going to kill every single male in the city. And once they kill every male in the city, they take their cattle, their oxen, their wealth, their wives, and their little ones captive. Shimeon and Levi do that. Right? That's what's going to wind up happening right here. Right? Verse 15, it says, but in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Verse 16, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will come one people. Verse 17, but if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughters, and we will be gone. Verse 18, and their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamar's son. Verse 19, and the young men deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Verse 20, and Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed, meaning approached, right? Speak unto, letting them know, have negotiation, right, with the men of their city, saying, this men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us, for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substances and every beast of theirs be ours? It says, only let us commune unto them, and they will dwell with us. Verse 24, it says, and unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate of his city. It says, every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. So all of them were circumcised. Shechem was circumcised, right? Hamor was circumcised. All of the males in that city were circumcised. Now this is the part. On the third day of them being sore after that circumcision, this is what is going to happen. Verse 25. I think it's verse... Yep. It says, I'll read it again. Verse 24, and unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate of his city. And it says, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. So they were all circumcised. All the males in that city were circumcised. Verse 25, and it came to pass on the third day. So on the third day, this is the third day after them receiving their circumcision, of them being circumcised. All the male of them Hivites, them Hamites in that city, they were circumcised on the third day. Now look, verse 25, and it came to pass on the third day, it says, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Shimeon and Levi, Dana's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. That's what they did. They went into the city and they killed all the males. They were so angry about their sister Dana getting raped by Shechem. So what they did, they took it upon themselves to give each man their sword and go into the city and kill every single male in the city. You see that? Verse 26, and they slew Hamor, which is the father of Shechem. They slew Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dana out of Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. So Shimeon and Levi took it upon themselves to go into the city and kill every single male in the city. All the Hivites, they were all killed and massacred by Shimeon and Levi. They went in the city and killed all the males, right? And this is the part. Verse 28, and they took their sheep, they took their oxen, they took their asses, they took which was in the city. They took everything, the wealth, everything in the city, right? And it says, and that which was in the field. Verse 29, and all their wealth, they took their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives, and took they captive. They took those women. They took them captive, right? And it says, it says, took them captive and spoiled even all that was in their house. Verse 30. And Jacob said to Shimeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land. Because Jacob, at the moment when that happened, he was like, damn, you guys are going to get me killed. That's how he felt, right? Because you guys went to the sea and killed all of these people. Right? Now these people are going to be sent out to try to kill me. This is what Jacob was pretty much speaking to his sons, right? It says, Jacob said to Shimeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land. It says, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, right? These are Hamites. It says that I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together to slay me, right? To gather against me and slay me. And I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And this is what Jacob was saying to his two sons. That's how he felt at the moment. But the Lord is the one that set that up, right? The Lord is the one that set that up. The Lord put the spirit on them dudes to go into the city and to do that, right? It says, verse 31, it says, and they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? So going back to Genesis 49. So now when we go back to Genesis 49, and we read verse 7, let's read it again. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and it says, and their wrath, for it was cruel. It says, oh, actually, I read it again from the top. I'm tripping. Verse 7. It says, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, right? And it says that their wrath fell for it, was cruel, right? I divide them in Jacob and scatter them among it. Actually, it's verse 6. Verse 6, I read from the top. So like it. Verse 6. It says, and my soul come not thou unto their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, but not thou united, which you went into. It says, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dug down a wall. That's what that's going into. That anger, they slew a man and they dug down a wall. That's what that's talking about. That's going to Genesis 34, when their sister Dinah got raped by that Hamite named Shechem, right? They took it upon themselves. They went to the city and they killed all the males. On the third day of those Hivites, which are those Hamites, Shechem and them being sore on the third day, they went into that city and they killed all the males. Okay, that's that anger, right? That's that anger that they waited when they slew a man and dug down that wall. That's what that's talking about there. All right, verse 7. Now verse 7. Verse 7. It says, "Cursed be their anger." So Shimeon and Levi, they got a spirit of anger. Those two people there, the Haitians and the Dominicans, you do not want to make them mad, man. You don't want to mess with them, make them. They are no joke. You don't want to make them mad. They got the spirit of anger on them, right? It says, "Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath for it was cruel." It says, I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So until this day, yes, you have the so-called Haitians and you have the Dominicans. They live on the same island. They're brethren. They live on the same island, which is Hispaniola. Okay, Shimeon is the so-called Dominicans today, and the tribe of Levi are the so-called Haitians today. That's who the tribe of Shimeon and Levi are. Okay, and pretty much they're divided, and they're not going to, they don't get along. They're not united. But when the Lord come back, everything is going to be different. But right now, Shimeon and Levi, which are the Dominicans and the Haitians, they don't get along. Okay, they're not united. Verse 9, it says, Jacob is a lion's whelp. It's like it. Verse 9, Judah is a lion's whelp. And Judah, who's Judah? Judah is the so-called Negroes today. So-called African Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called black men. All right, that's the tribe of Judah. Okay, they're the tribe of Judah. All right, they're the true or you call them Yahweh. That's what they call Yahweh. In the Hebrew is Yahweh, right? Which is Judah. Okay, the tribe of Judah is the so-called Negroes today. That's the tribe of Judah, right? And it says Judah. Read again. Actually, yeah, I skipped verse 8. Verse 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. And Judah is the so-called Negroes today. That's the tribe of Judah. And it says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Everyone follows after Judah. Everyone mimics Judah. Judah is the top tribe out of all the tribes. Everyone follow after Judah. Everyone mimics Judah. Everyone be like Judah. To the fashion, to the dressing, to the speaking, Like, they speak like him, dress like him, talk like him. Everyone, all the other tribes follow after Judah. Judah is the top tribe. Okay, the fashion, the dressing, everything. Everyone mimics Judah. Judah is the top tribe. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Everyone follows after Judah, right? It says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies, right? And Judah is in the neck of their enemies, okay? Judah is in the neck of the enemies, all right? All of us are, but Judah, who Esau had in captivity, doing all of these things to the so-called Negroes, right? Esau, right? Jacob is in the hand of the neck of their Judah is in the hand of the neck of their enemies. All of us are, but Judah is the most, right? Judah been done treacherously the most, all right? It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies, right? And that's Esau. Esau had Judah in captivity. All of us was, but that's who that's going into, right? And it says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. But the Lord is getting ready to put it into order where all of us is going to bow down to Judah, because Judah is the top tribe. All right, all of us is going to highly respect Judah. All the tribes are going to respect Judah. Okay, Judah is the top tribe, man. Right? It says, thy father's children shall bow down before thee. We're going to bow before Judah because Judah is the top tribe, man. All right, verse 9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. Okay, and who's the prey? Esau, Edom. Okay, Esau, Edom is that prey, right? And it says, my son, thou art gone up. And we're going to prove that Esau is that prey. This is, I think it's in 1 Kings 11 and 16, or is it 15? 1 Kings 11 and 15, right? And we're going to prove that Esau is that prey. Verse 15, it says, for it came to pass when David was in Edom, and this is when David and Joab was in the land of Edom for 6 months. And when they were in the land of Edom for 6 months, they killed all the males in Edom, right? Let's prove it. It says, 1 Kings 11 and 15, for it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom, right? This is when David and Joab was in the land of Edom. They were in the land of Edom for 6 months, right? Verse 16, for 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. So they killed all the males in Edom for 6 months when they were in the land of Edom. Okay, so that prey is referring to Esau. Okay, that's who that prey is. Because the Lord is going to make Judah, going to rise Judah up, and Judah's going to become that young lion. Right now, he's that old lion, which we're getting into right now. Right, we're going to get to there right now. Verse 9, it says Judah. I keep saying Jacob. So like Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. It says he stooped down the couch as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rise him up? Right, because right now he's that old lion. All right, Judah, Judah getting killed left and right. Jake getting killed left and right by these cops, by these police. They're that old lion, but the Lord's getting ready to rise him up into that old lion, into that young lion. Right? It says right here, it says, he's crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rise him up? And the Lord is gonna rise up. The Lord's gonna rise up. So like, I just got distracted for a minute. The Lord's gonna rise up Judah, and when Judah rises up, Ephraim's gonna rise up. Once Ephraim rises up, then all the other tribes are gonna rise up. And we can get that in Zechariah 9 and 9. All right, I think it's Zechariah 9 and 13. Because 9 and 9, that's for a precept later. Zechariah 9 and 13, it says, when I have bent Judah for me, it says, fill the bow with Ephraim, and rised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. So there you go. When Judah rises up, then Ephraim's going to rise up. And once Ephraim rises up, then all the other tribes are going to follow, and they're going to rise up. Okay, so once Judah rises up, Ephraim's going to rise up. Once Ephraim rises up, then all the other tribes are going to rise up. That's who's going to, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to rise them up. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, Yahweh Shai is going to rise up Judah. All right, the Lord's going to rise up Judah, Ephraim, and all the other tribes are going to rise up. Okay? It says, who shall rise them up? Verse 10, it says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. Shiloh is referring to Yahweh Shai. That's who Shiloh is. Shiloh is referring to Yahweh Shai. Now you got other Jakes out there that's saying Shiloh is a city. That's talking about Shiloh here is talking about a city. No, you're going off. Because you got them Old Testament Israelites. They use Shiloh here in verse 10 to say that that's talking about a city, not the Messiah. You're wrong. It's talking about the Messiah. All right? Because how could a city gather the people? That wouldn't make no sense. A city's going to gather the people? That doesn't make no sense. That don't make no sense. A city can't gather up a people. That don't make no sense. Okay? Because it says it right here. Read it verse 10. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So it's Yahweh Shai. He's going to do that gathering. Yahweh Shai is going to do that gathering. He's going to gather up the people. Right? They're going to be gathered. The people, the Israelites, they're going to be gathered under Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to do that gathering. How could a city gather up people? A city isn't going to be able to gather up people. All right? Shiloh is referring to the Messiah, and he's going to gather up the people. All right? Now, if you can't understand that, that's just on you. But Shiloh there in Genesis 49 and 10, that's referring to the Messiah. Okay? Yahweh Shai. That's who Shiloh is. All right? And actually, I could get other precepts for that gathering, but we'll just go down to verse 11, because this is talking about the Messiah too, right? Verse 11, it says, binding his fowl onto the wine as an ass colt. Now, an ass is a donkey, okay? A colt is a baby donkey, which we're going to prove, all right? Onto the choice vine, he washed his garment in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. And this is right here referring to Yahweh Shai. Okay, now Zechariah the prophet spoke about this as well. He spoke about the Messiah. Okay, he was speaking about the Messiah. And we're going to prove, this is why we say the Messiah is mentioned all through the scriptures, even in the Old Testament. This is Zechariah 9 and 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass. You see that? This is Zechariah the prophet speaking, and he's speaking about the Messiah. We're going to prove that. Matthew, I think it's 7. Should be Matthew 7. This is Matthew 21 and 7. Salakia. Matthew 21 and verse 7. Matthew 21 and verse 7. Salakia. This is Matthew 21 and verse 7. And it says, and this is when Yahweh Shai is going to send 2 of his apostles out to gather that ass and that colt, which an ass is a donkey and a colt is a baby donkey, right? This is Matthew 21 and 1. It says, and when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem and were come to Bethphage unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Yahweh Shai 2 disciples, right? Verse 2, it says, saying unto them, go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied and a colt with her. It says, loose them and bring them unto me. Verse 3, and if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, the Lord have need of them, and straightway he will send them. Verse 4, it says, all this was done, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, Zechariah the prophet. Remember? Zechariah 9 and 9. Right? It says, all of this was done, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying. Verse 5, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek and sitting upon an ass, and a colt and a foal of an ass. That was Zechariah the prophet that said that. Right? It says, verse 6, and the disciples went and did as Yahweh Shai commanded them. Verse 7, and brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. See that? So this is talking about the Messiah here. And Zechariah the prophet spoke about that. Okay? So this is referring to Yahweh Shai here. Alright? This is all referring to Yahweh Shai here. Verse 12. It says, his eyes shall be red with wine. Alright? And red with wine, the Messiah drunk a lot of wine. He was a wine bibber. He drunk a lot of wine. The Messiah drunk wine, bro. He drunk a lot of wine. Now you got these people out here, when they hear that, they get all offended. And the Messiah, he didn't drink alcohol. He was an alcoholic. He drunk a lot of wine. The Messiah drunk a lot of wine, whether you believe it or not. He drunk a lot of wine. He drunk wine. Okay, that's why it says in verse 12, his eyes shall be red with wine, because he drunk a lot of wine. He was a wine bibber. He drank a lot of wine. He was alcoholic. He drank a lot of wine. Now, he wasn't drinking to the point to where he was just drunk and unstable. It's not what I'm saying. But the Messiah drank wine. He drank alcohol. He drank wine. Okay? He drank wine. And it says, and his teeth white with milk. And we know that teeth there, I see a lot of Jakes, it becomes a stumbling block to them because they hear that, they believe that it's talking about his actual teeth being white. And that's not what that is talking about there. That's talking about the sincere milk of the word. Okay? And we're going to read that again. It says in verse 12, it says, his eyes shall be red with wine and his teeth white with milk. And that white with milk, that's referring to the sincere milk of the word, which I believe is in 2 Peter 2 Peter 2 and 2, 1 and 2. Let me see, 2 Peter, is it 1 and 2? Bear with me. 1 Peter 2 and 2. So like it, 1 Peter 2 and 2. This is to prove that his teeth white with milk is referring to the sincere milk of the word. That's what it's talking about, the word. Alright? This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So that's what that's talking about. That's referring to the sincere milk of the word. Okay, the word. The Yahawashi is of the word. Okay, you got Psalms, what's that, 40 and Psalms, was it 40 and 7? I think it's Psalms 40 and 7, right? You have, there's another precept too, I can't think of the other one. I think it's Hebrews, is it Hebrews? Hebrews 10 and 7? One of those two, roughly paraphrasing. Can't think of it right now. Let me see. Let me get that out for proof real quick. This is Hebrews, I think it's Hebrews 10 and 7. Let me make sure I'm right. Yep, Hebrews 10 and 7. It says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do the will of thy Father. So the word is of Yahawashi. The word is Yahawashi. And you also can go to Psalms 110, or I think it's Psalms 40 and 7, though. Let me check. Let me see. Psalms 40 and 7. Bear with me. This is Psalms chapter 40 and 7. Yep, Psalms 40 and 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. So yeah, the sincere milk of the word, that's referring to Yahawashi. The word is Yahawashi. Yahawashi is of the word. Psalms 40 and 7 and Hebrews 10 and 7. Okay, that validates that. Alright, now continuing. Verse 13, it says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships. And Zebulun is the Panamanians and Guatemalans. All right, and when it talks about verse 13, it says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships. That's talking about the Panama Canal. Now you have a lot of boats, a lot of cargo, with resources. They go through the Panama Canal to get to their destination quicker and faster. Instead of going all the way around, they go through the Panama Canal. Okay, so that's what that's talking about there. The haven of the sea, the haven of ships, that's talking about the Panama Canal. And they use cargo. They have, the transporters. They use boats that have cargo and loads of resources. They go through the Panama Canal to get to their destination quicker and shorter. So that's what that's talking about, the Panama Canal. Okay, and Zebulun is the Panamanians and Guatemalans. That's the tribe of Zebulun. Read again, verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, right? And his border shall be unto Zidon. Again, that's talking about the Panama Canal. All right. Verse 14. Issachar is as strong as couching down between two burdens. And that's talking about the location. Issachar is the so-called Hispanics, who are the Mexicans today. So-called Mexicans, Hispanics, all right, Latinos, all right. They're in between the borders of South America and North America. That's what that means. When it says, Verse 14, Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. The two burdens is South America and North America. Okay, Issachar is the so-called Hispanics. Okay, so-called Mexicans, so-called Hispanics. That's the tribe of Issachar. Alright? I'll probably stop at verse 15. It says, and he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. This is tribe of Issachar, who are the so-called Hispanics. They love to work. They do a lot of working. They can work 2-3 jobs and still be they're just very loyal to their job and consistent. They labor a lot. Okay, the so-called Hispanics. Okay, which is the tribe of Issachar. They do a lot of working. Their inspiration is of working. Anything they do, they work. They work. Warehouse. They can do warehouse work. They do construction work. They sell ice cream. They're very diligent. Anything they do, they're very diligent in it. Okay, Issachar. All right, that's so-called Hispanics. Okay, the tribe of Issachar. And we're gonna stop there, and we'll break down the rest of this tomorrow. So I'm gonna wrap it up with that. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Yahweh Kakodash. The Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and bishops at Great Millstone, who will well and teach well, because those are the men who I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you sincere brothers that are scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah, and pretty much we're going to finish the next part tomorrow, Lord willing. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.